Oh my gosh, I am so excited you're here. I just stumbled across this new product that's all over my social media feeds, and I can't wait to buy it. It's called Vanish-A-Pooch. You look skeptical. Okay, so I tried to get my new magician neighbors to help me out and make that little menace Chewbacca disappear. They were going on and on about animal cruelty and how they can't really make things disappear anyway, yada yada yada. I really think that this could be my ticket to a Chewbacca-free life. Imagine if I didn't have to walk him anymore for Aunt Muriel. Maybe the bite marks on my ankles would finally go away. So what is Vanish-A-Pooch, you ask? Well, it's just the latest in cutting-edge quantum physics technology that ensures that your dog is transported to a dimension where it's pampered and cared for by a team of pet-loving scientists. See, no harm will come to Chewbacca. It also claims it's endorsed by leading veterinarians as a safe and effective way to temporarily remove your pet from your home. The dogs return from their interdimensional trip more relaxed and well-behaved. And Vanish-A-Pooch is easy to use, so you can have the joy of owning a dog without any of the hassle or responsibility. Aunt Muriel? What do you mean you think it's too good to be true? But they make all these claims and say it's approved by veterinarians. What evidence do they cite? Well, good question. Egad, there doesn't seem to be any evidence in these posts after all. Drat, foiled again. I guess citing evidence is super important. And go figure, it's what we're learning about today. Let's get into it. Citing evidence. A skill any good detective, scientist, lawyer, or student like you should have. Today we'll be learning all about how to do this effectively when we make claims and inferences. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define what citing evidence is, explain why citing evidence is important, and integrate evidence into your own writing. Let's begin by explaining what it means to cite evidence. Do you have your PDF ready to take notes? Great, let's dive in. When we learned about making inferences, we learned that evidence is explicit information given by the author. When we cite evidence, we use the explicit information to justify and prove our thinking, or our inference. It's important to look for evidence while reading to support our inferences and conclusions. We can use that evidence to write about what we've read, and we often cite it to show respect to the author's work. Citing evidence is a valuable close reading skill. The type of information you cite might be different depending on what you're reading. When reading nonfiction, you might look for facts, statistics, and expert opinions to support your ideas and research. When reading fiction, you might look for specific details or quotes the author uses to support your inferences about the characters, plot, setting, or themes of the story. I'm starting to realize why that Vanish-A-Pooch was too good to be true. They didn't cite any scientific facts to support their claims. Even though they said it was endorsed by veterinarians, they never gave specific quotes or information on who those vets were, or even said what qualified them as experts to give an opinion. They have zero evidence to support what they're saying. Bad news for me, good news for Chewbacca. I have an idea. Why don't we practice this with my science assignment? I'm writing a research paper that claims that interdimensional travel is possible. Let's look at a passage I found in my research and see if we can pick out what I should cite as evidence in my paper. Do you have your PDF ready? Awesome. You can read the passage to yourself or follow the link in the PDF to listen to a recording. As you read the passage in your guided notes, underline any evidence you think I could use in my research paper. When you're finished, come back here. Ready? Pause the video now. Hey, welcome back. How'd it go? Out of this world effort. Let's compare what we selected as evidence to cite in my paper. Okay, let's keep in mind we're writing a paper that claims interdimensional travel is possible. Which part of the passage do you think we should cite as evidence? I'm going with Stephen Hawking's theory and the 2019 radio wave. Why do you think those are the best pieces of evidence? Let's see. Remember, we cite evidence that is a fact, specific detail, quote, statistic, or expert opinion that supports our idea. In this case, Stephen Hawking was an expert in the field of physics, so he's a reliable resource. The radio signal in 2019 from a distant galaxy that may have traveled through a wormhole is something that actually happened, so a fact. These pieces of evidence would support our claim that interdimensional travel is possible. Why do you think we shouldn't cite the other two as evidence? While Madeleine L'Engle's acclaimed 1962 novel is about the topic, it doesn't really add any specific details to our science paper, so we should skip this one as evidence. As for the conspiracy theory about extraterrestrial life setting the FRB 180924 radio wave, while that theory is intriguing, it's not based on credible evidence from science experts, so we should skip this one too. How's that for citing evidence? And how cool would it be to travel to another dimension? Do you think we should have a little practice with some fiction writing too? In that case, why don't you give me a hand with this story I'm working on about a girl named Amira? Amira had always felt like she didn't quite fit in. She often daydreamed about escaping to a world that was completely different from her own. One day, while walking home from physics club, she noticed a strange object in the sky. It was a shimmering portal that seemed to be beckoning her. Without hesitation, Amira stepped through the portal and found herself in a completely different world. Remember, we can use evidence to justify our thinking about a story, like when we make an inference. What could we infer about Amira? What evidence can we use from the text to support our idea? Are you ready? Pause the video here to write down one inference and piece of evidence in your guided notes. How'd you do? Here's one that I came up with. Amira entered the portal without hesitation, showing that she wasn't scared of it. This may be because she was in physics club and understood it was an interdimensional portal, or because she felt like she didn't fit in. So she didn't think twice about entering. How'd I do? Let's see. I cited direct quotes from the reading and specific details to help support my inference. And now it's stronger and more convincing. I think we've got some stellar skills developing. Great work. Thank you for sticking around to learn about citing evidence with me. I feel more confident than ever when it comes to not believing everything I see on social media. Remember, citing evidence requires us to use information or details from a text to support our ideas, arguments, or inferences, and to give credit to the author. For even more practice, check out the PDF that accompanies today's lesson. As for me, it's back to the drawing board to concoct a way out of Chewbacca's tiny grasp. Catch you later, my evidence enthusiasts!